What questions are we not asking that you think we ought to be asking?
This is just an obsession of mine, right? So it's not, look, you've asked all the right questions. They're really interesting questions. You know the right questions to ask. One of the things that's interested me lately is the question of inequality. So one of the things we do in schools is we insist on inequality. So let me give you an example. I'm working here now around reform of the medical curriculum here at the University of Illinois, and we've got students using Scholar to do clinical case studies in medicine, which is a graduate in US terms, postgraduate in Australian or English terms, degree. So these are incredibly bright students who've come top of the class and pretty affluent too, because they can afford these very high fees, or they can get a scholarship to do them. And what we insist on, so what we've done is we've sifted out society around inequality. This is an elite. We've already done that sifting, and then we keep insisting on inequality, which is we want to put them across a normal distribution curve, and the normal distribution curve for assessment is something like, you've done really well. Look at all you're pretty mediocre, and you people are stupid. And what we do in every classroom is we want to do that, and our assessment systems do that. So one of the things I've become interested in is how do we genuinely move towards standards-based education. So the standards idea is radically different. And in America, there are two things which are reviled as phrases. One is "No Child Left Behind," which was the George Bush slogan in the George Bush regime. In fact, built jointly with Teddy Kennedy. In fact, people don't know it was across the aisle thing to build the No Child Left Behind, which was this incredible testing regime. And then the other thing that's reviled is the Obama regime created a thing with the same phrase, "Every child succeeds." So the new federal legislation law that Obama created was called the ESSA, Every Child Succeeds Act. Have I got the acronym right? Anyhow. So these two phrases, which are reviled, but the interesting thing is they're both kind of revolutionary phrases, because what they say is that if we set a standard, we want to move every learner to that standard, and we want to, and it's possible, they may do it at different paces. Some students may need extra assistance to reach that standard. They may do it at a different time. So what we do with the test is we choose one point in time and measure students against each other. In fact, we should be measuring people on a horizontal dimension, which is your progress towards meeting the standard, which everyone can meet. So one of the challenges we have in education, I think, is actually around building a culture and a logic of equality. And ironically, it aligns with these things which are reviled, like "No Child Left Behind." Let's take that seriously. Every child succeeds. Let's take that seriously. And that means we have to change our assessment architectures. So the recursive feedback idea that I was mentioning before, which means we shift assessment, the focus of assessment, from summative to formative. We build a composite picture of formative assessment over time. But what we're always saying is, okay, you've only reached this point, but we'll give you more and more formative assessment as you move forward, and you can reach the same point as another student perhaps a little bit later, right? So rather than just taking a slice of time and insisting on inequality, why in education must we insist on inequality?